Hello everyone and welcome. This is Big Girls Really Do Cry and my name is Lainey. I wanted to do this video with regards to my experience with Laptops Direct, which is owned by Buy It Direct. Basically, I bought a laptop on the 17th of June this year and I received it on the 18th, and obviously I was really excited and everything, as you are when you get something new. And over the following days I had a lot of issues with it. The mouse would completely freeze and I couldn't use it whatsoever, apart from to sort of shut it back down and start it again. That's the only way it would come back on. And also it was just randomly blue screening every so often, so I would get like something like an alert that said something to do with the safety hardware or something, and also one that just had a Windows stock code of some description. Now I truly thought that it was just some sort of Windows update that needed doing or whatever, because when you get something new, especially a laptop, and it's been sitting for a while, it's missed all the updates that usually required initially. And I spoke to my brother, who's also much more tech savvy than I am, and he kind of agreed. He said, yeah, it's probably just an update and it'll be fine. So I did all the Windows updates that were available, and that didn't fix anything. So this went on over the few days. On the 24th of June, I was on hold of them trying to get through, and in the same time I sent them a message via email, which just basically said, I think it's got some fix errors. Who do I contact to sort of sort them out? I'll put all the screenshots as I go along of the conversation, of all the conversations actually. And so like I said, this was on the 24th. I eventually did get through to Laptops Direct, who told us that they advised us to contact the manufacturer, who is MSI, and as they hold the warranty with the laptop. Now bear in mind, I'd only had it a few days at this point, and obviously the laptop was still in warranty with the original supplier. This isn't, I'm not talking months down the line, I'm talking days. So I did contact MSI. MSI told us to do a Windows update, which I'd already done, and then they also suggested that I update the drivers. So I updated the drivers. Now that fixed the freezing mouse error. That stopped happening. However, this blue screening continued, and it would happen randomly 2 or 3 times within the space of us using it. So I contacted MSI again and said, it's fixed the mouse issue, but it hasn't fixed the other issue. So they suggested that I do a BIOS update. I looked at it and it seemed really complicated, like for your standard sort of tech person it probably isn't, but for someone like me, it was a bit complex. So I asked my brother to do it, which he did. He came over on the 26th of June and he did it, and sadly, like less than 5 minutes after he did it, it blue screened again. So anyway, on the 28th, Laptops Direct replied to my original email on the 24th and advised me to contact MSI, which I'd already done. And it said, because they hold the warranty again, but at this time, this is a very early days on in the purchase. So after the weekend, on the 29th of the 6th, I spoke to Laptops Direct after trying to get through for ages. I told them, despite doing all MSI had told us, it still wasn't working. They told me to contact them again because they hold the warranty. Now, I then again rang MSI, who told me to factory reset the laptop because if they collected it for repair and it was something simple like what I just explained, like a factory reset or update or whatever, then they would obviously put a charge on collecting it, kind of thing. So I mean, needless to say, I was extremely frustrated by this point. You know, I bought this new laptop that I just wanted to work, and I felt like I was just getting passed around a bit and nothing was really getting solved. So when I did contact MSI, like I said, they told us to do this factory reset. They sent us the instructions as an email on how to do it and everything. Now I did the factory reset, and again it did not fix the issue. I again contacted MSI, who said they would arrange to get it collected through the repair company that they use. I sent an email. I was sent an email with the information from MSI, and I'll show you all the attachments as it's there, and told I would get the collection the next day. But when I phoned us to arrange it, I missed the call because I wasn't at home at the time. But I rang them straight back anyway after, and they arranged the collection for the next day, which was the 3rd of July at this point. And they sent us an email again with all the details on with regards to the collection and what I needed to do and how I needed to package it and blah blah blah. And then I also got an email attachment from DPD, who were going to collect it. So on the 3rd of July at 2 minutes to 5, a DPD van parked at the back of my house. Now the only reason I knew he was there because the dog was barking. And he always barks if someone parks directly at the back. Now, there's no road at the front of my property, it's all at the back. So the dog, like I said, he was barking. He didn't attempt to come round the front or knock the driver. And then my son, obviously he's seen over the back that it was the DPD van, and I knew that I was waiting for this collection. So I asked him to walk down the path to go meet him, kind of thing. But he literally got halfway down the back path and the driver pulled away. So I didn't make any attempt to knock on the door or whatever, which was a bit frustrating to say the least. But I tried to contact MSI, but apparently they shut at 5, so I couldn't contact them, and then had to wait until after the weekend again. So on the 6th of the 7th, which was the Monday, I contacted MSI again, explained about the situation, about the guy not coming out of the van and everything, and they arranged for another collection on the 7th, so the following day basically. Now I again got the email from MSI which explained how to pack it all up again, but I didn't receive any confirmation this time from DPD to say that they were coming the next day like I had the first day. So nobody came basically. So the next day nobody came to pick it up. So on the 8th I contacted MSI again and told them no one had come to collect it the day before. Again it was arranged for the following day on the 9th, and this time it was actually finally collected. So on the 17th of July, so that's sort of like what, 8 days later I think, yeah. I missed a call from the repair company who had the laptop, and when I rang back she said that they'd emailed us and that they required some extra information. Firstly, they needed my password for the operating system so they could go into that, which I gave over the phone. And the second thing was they needed to know what the blue screen errors were, even though I'd obviously told them this previously. And I took screenshots because I'd showed my brother, so I sent them the screenshots, which I'll insert and show you now. So I went and I did that via the email. I sent those back via the email, and then I heard no more for a good sort of, I think it was 12 days. So on the 29th of July I actually contacted the repair company, and they told me that they'd replaced the hard drive in the laptop, and that it was going through quality control, and I would receive it back within a couple of days. So I was like, right, brilliant, you know, finally getting it back and thinking it would be great. Anyway, I did receive it back. I received an email the next day on the 30th of July, and to confirm it was being returned the day after on the 31st of July. So that did happen. Nothing was an issue in that. However, I got it back, set it all up and everything, in less than 2 hours after receiving it back, it blue screened again. So it blue screens, shuts itself down and restarts. That's basically what it does. To see that I was a little bit disappointed is beyond belief. Like, to be honest, I was very gutted, I have to say, and really frustrated. So this again was the Friday, so the 31st was a Friday, so by the time obviously this happened, everywhere was shut for the weekend. So after the weekend, on the 3rd of August, I spoke to MSI, who then said you need to get in touch with the supplier. Now, the supplier being Laptops Direct, who had always just said, well, you need to get in touch with MSI. They hold your warranty, you need to speak to MSI, they hold your warranty. And it honestly, it got worse, to be fair, which you wouldn't think it, but still. So I tried to get through on the telephone to Laptops Direct, but the only thing I could get was this automated service, which basically said the wait was over an hour long, and that I could either press I could press 1 for them to ring me back, or I could press 2 to be rang back on a different number, or I could press 3 and call back later. So I pressed 1, and I also requested a return on the Laptops Direct website, which it states you can do. Asks you why and all of that sort of thing. And they sent us an email response stating that they would be in touch within 1 working day. So as I said, this was on the 3rd of August. Now on the 4th of August, I didn't get any return call from Laptops Direct through the automated service, and nor did I get any response through the email, despite it saying that I would. On the 5th of August, I tried to ring again, and again it stated the wait time was over an hour, and to give me the automated service option, which was the only option, you couldn't stay on hold. So again I pressed 1 again, and while waiting for the return phone call, I got an email response from my returns request stating I needed to get back in touch with MSI. Now I'll put all these attachments. I replied back to it saying it hadn't worked, that the laptop hadn't worked since I'd gotten it. I'd already been in touch with MSI. I asked again for a collection and refund, and obviously that it hadn't fixed the problem when I did get in touch with MSI. Finally, I got a call back that day at about 4 p.m. I explained that although it had been sent for repair and it was still doing exactly the same thing, that I wanted a refund because it was clearly faulted, and I tried every which way to return it, and I tried every which way to fix the problem with it, you know, which, to be honest, thinking about it now, I shouldn't have done that from the start. I think initially, as it was faulted at the beginning, I should have said, look, no, this was a brand new laptop, I'm not sending it for repair, I want a new one that's working. Do you know what I mean? That's what I should have done. But I had a lot going on. There's a lot going on within the family over the past few months, and I know that you know is a separate thing, so this was just an added headache, to be honest. So, you know, it's always the same in hindsight as well, isn't it? They told me again that the warranty was with the manufacturer, and I would need to contact MSI, and that they would need to give me an uplift number in order for me to return it. Like, to say that I was frustrated by this point is really an understatement. I absolutely was dumbfounded, but I contacted MSI again. the next day and explained what they had told me about Laptops Direct. They didn't have very good words about that, I shall say. They said to me, the issue is with them. After all, they are the supplier and they took your money, which was true, they did. And he said that he would have a word with a colleague, and if I sent him an email with all the details, hopefully that they might be able to sort of give some sort of confirmation that, you know, that they needed to, that I could send on a Laptops Direct in order to help. That's what he said. Now, I did send the information to MSI, however, I just got a standard response which told me to factory reset it. So, and plus, you know, it wasn't, they'd at least tried to do something about it, which, you know, was something, I guess. So on that same day, I recontacted Laptops Direct again about around 1 p.m. The wait time at the time was over an hour, so I did the automated service thing again. I hadn't heard anything by 4, and so I just tried on the off chance to see if I could get through. I managed to get through after 7 minutes. I explained all again, and I was told that the manager would get back in touch with me. However, no one rang back. Now, on the 7th of the 8th, I got an email again telling me to contact MSI. This time I did, but this time I didn't contact them. I just felt like that was just another waste of time and pointless exercise, really, because I truly didn't believe that my refund lied with them anyway. I didn't give my money to them. I gave my money to Laptops Direct. So and I was going round in circles, to be fair, because that's how I felt like I'd literally just gone round in circles. So instead, I replied to the email and I stated about the Consumer Rights Act of 2015 and requested a refund, and requesting a refund before I took it further. Now, at this point, I actually contacted my bank, because I just don't think I could have gone on with it much more, if you know what I mean. So I contacted my bank and I spoke to them and said, you know, this was happening, and I had to fill in all the forms and all this information that I'm passing you now, send them all correspondence, all emails that were passed, all conversations that were had, and they would look into it, which I did. Anyway, Laptops Direct replied to us on the 11th of the 8th. In fact, I received 3 emails, one with the instructions and returns label, one with a form that they wanted me to fill out and print, which had details of account information and passwords, etc. One apologising for the delayed response and then telling me I have to cover the postage costs myself to send it to them, which I thought was terrible. And just another added thing that I didn't think I should have to do. I replied to them a few days later telling them how dumbfounded I was, and that though I would send it back, I was not happy I was not happy I had to pay the return postage costs, because I didn't think I should. So I told them that I would send it back on the Tuesday, which was actually the Wednesday that I did. And however, so yeah, I told them that I would send it back on the Tuesday, but I did actually send it back on the Wednesday, so I'll include the things for that. It cost me £26.60 to post it, because I had to send it insured, and I had to send it because all I would need was it to go missing on top of everything else. So I sent it special delivery and obviously insured just in case, and so it cost me £26.60 to send it. And just to think that I was, you know, over the moon when I first got this. I was, you know, like, really happy, because you kind of, you know how you get chuffed about something new and then it just has turned into a nightmare. It really has. So after sending all the information on to the bank, as I did, I received another message back from Laptops Direct which stated that I should pay for the return postage, and I figured I didn't bother replying anymore, because I think at this point I was just had enough, and as I said, there was a lot of family things going on, and so on the 26th of August I got a message from my bank which stated that they were temporarily refunding my payment to Laptops Direct, that it would show as a refund, and that refund would stay that way up and until, if I haven't heard from them by the 25th of October. So that was that, which to me obviously meant that they could say that Laptops Direct, in my view, were in the wrong, and I assume that the bank agreed with me because of the responses. They wouldn't have done that with the refund, and the only way that would have changed is if Laptops Direct could come back with information that I hadn't supplied that proved otherwise as to what I was saying, which they couldn't because there wasn't any. So yeah, so that happened, and then obviously they must have contacted Laptops Direct on the 29th of August. So I sent the laptop back on the 19th. That's right, I sent the laptop back on the 19th. They had got it on the 20th, and on the 29th of August they basically sent me two emails, one to refund the cost of the laptop, and one stating that they were refunding the cost of the postage to send it to me when I bought it originally. So finally, after all that time, they actually refunded us. Now that was on the 29th. There still was no message out with regards to the postage that it cost me to send it, which I still feel I shouldn't have had to pay for. So I sent them another message, basically just saying that, you know, I've received the refund from you, and I would also like a refund for the postage that it cost me to send it to you, as I should never have had to pay it in the first place. So I sent them a copy of the certificate of postage, which was for, as I said, $26.60. The first reply I got was right, where am I? First reply I got was, hello, hope you're well and thank you for your email. Please can you confirm if this postage was for an item to be sent to us? So that was the first one I got. That was obviously, and that was replied directly to the message that was sent to me. And then I think it was on Saturday just gone, I got another message from the person who'd been dealing with it before, and it said, unfortunately, as there was no fault found, which was untrue because I know there was a fault, we are unable to cover this cost for you. We have refunded you in full for the item and the £10 delivery charge, and then truly sorry for any inconvenience caused. Now, if there was no fault found, but they've refunded us anyway, that doesn't make sense to me. And also refunded us for the postage it cost to send it to me, but yet they're saying there isn't a fault. Now I'm gonna take this, you know, I'm gonna reply to this again, because this is where I'm at the minute. But this is separate to actually getting my laptop back, I suppose. Well, it isn't, because it is obviously this was a cost incurred for me to send it to them, but I still think it was something they should have done in the first place. And I'm absolutely dumbfounded at the whole of how this has gone on. I mean, this has gone on from like June right through to nearly the end of August, and I really truly think, I mean, in some cases, you know, the delays between them responding was like 5 days in via email and things like that. And also I was just getting told constantly to go back to MSI, which I feel was totally unjust. And I think if I in hindsight, I should have, obviously initially when it wasn't working, I should have just said, look, no, I don't want you to repair it, this was meant to be brand new, I want a new one, I've tried the updates and that didn't work, this is what I should have done. But like I said, there was a lot of family things going on, and it kind of just had to go slightly to the back burner, even though I was responding and trying to contact them as much as I could. Within the frustration of all of it, I just thought it was really bad customer service, I have to say. And to think that, like, obviously I use, like, my laptop is something I use every day. I'm stuck in bed 20 hours of a day, so it's something I use constantly. And yeah, it's not just a want, it's a need for me. It's a necessity, really. It's a necessity to keep in touch. It's a necessity for my mental health, and it's also, you know, it's just been nightmare from start to finish. And you know, you can make your own decisions on who and where you buy from, but I never ever will use Laptops Direct or any company associated with them in the future, because I just think, well, personally feel like the way they've acted is disgusting. And yeah, so that's it. Like I said, I'm going to reply again and see if I can get my refund for the posted costs it cost me to come back. There is part of us that kind of just wants to say, do you know what, let it go now, let it go, because it's still a headache all this time later, you know what I mean? And like, just lose out on the £20 odd, but why should I? Why should I have to do that when, through no fault of my own, I purchased a laptop that didn't work, that should have been dealt with better than it was, you know? But anyway, moving on. Thank you very much to everyone for watching, and just, you know, please, you know, whenever you're purchasing something expensive, please do your research and look at their customer service and things like that, as I should have done probably, but never mind. Thanks for watching, everybody, and bye bye.